Hi everyone! Today we'll be going over a popular topic in our community, how to populate images into an Excel template. We've seen so many questions about it, so we decided to pull together a guide on how to accomplish it. And for that, we'll be going over two main scenarios, pulling them from a SharePoint list and then pulling them from a Microsoft Forms submission. In both cases, we'll be using our Plumsail document connector to Power Automate. If you're new to Plumsail, we offer a 30-day trial, so make sure to give it a go and see how efficient your process can become. For now, let's get started. First, our Excel template. From our Plumsail document page, we'll create a new process. Let's start from a blank template and select Excel as our input file. Next, we're going to have our editor. In this section, you can create files from scratch, you can upload your templates, or you can turn all files into reusable templates with dynamic placeholders. To make things a little bit faster, we're going to upload a maintenance and repair request template that our team prepared for us. Once it loads, you will see that we have some values in between curly brackets. That means that's information that we change dynamically each time we run the process. We have such fields as name, address, description, and of course, attachment, meaning our images. Now, to make our example a little more complex, let's say I want to add multiple images to the document, not just one. That means using an array and adapting our placeholder to that structure by using a token with a dot. Let's go over it together to make sure we understand how it works. The syntax will look like this. Images, that means from our list called images, we use the dot and then we loop through each one of those values, meaning each one of those images. Next, we let the engine know that we're working with that type of value by using the picture formatter. Lastly, we pass down some size parameters. In this case, we decide to add the auto parameter too. This one is really useful and helps you by letting you pass either the height or the width of an image, and then it will calculate the other side automatically. Let's say that that's okay for us. We're gonna save everything and move into the settings. In this section, for example, you can change the output file name. Let's say that we want to include today's date so that our team can keep track of when the request was done. For that, we can make use of a placeholder. You can find custom values like the name, the address, the ones that we define in our document, and built-in options like the current date. We are going to select that one, save, and move into the delivery configuration. Here you can decide what to do with your documents as you need it, from storing it in the cloud or in SharePoint to sharing it with different integrations. For now, let's stick to a quick email to our team letting them know that we received a new request. We complete all the fields that we need and save the process. Now the initial part is ready, and we can move on into the automation section. In our first scenario, we'll be going over how to use a Power Automate flow to connect to a SharePoint list. In our case, let's say that we have this SharePoint list and we want our flow to start directly from an item. For this, we'll be going over to Power Automate and use the For Selected Item trigger to link the flow to the list. Of course, as part of the configuration, you will need to select it. Then we're going to add the Get Item and Get Attachments SharePoint actions to actually get the information and the files from the selected list item. Here, make sure to use the correct IDs for each file so that the action works properly. Next, to insert the images into our template, we need to store them in a variable. Remember, we decided to use multiple ones. That means that we will initialize a variable with the type array. Then, creating a loop will get the content of each attachment and append to the array we just created. And by using a simple expression, we'll populate our input data for the document. Once it has been built, we are ready to start the actual process. This means the final action will trigger our Plumsail document process that populates the Excel template, the one we created at the beginning, with the data we just obtained and built. The only left thing to do here is save, go to our SharePoint list, and make sure our flow is available for the team. We give it a go and check our email to see our final document. Moving on to our second scenario, we'll be using Microsoft Forms. So let's review our own to make sure that we have all the necessary fields. We're gonna see that we have a name, an address, a description, and our attachments. For this last one, make sure to remember the structure we defined at the beginning. That means using multiple images, not just one. So make sure that the form configuration allows user to do so. Once we're happy with it, we can move to our Power Automate flow. In this case, it will begin when a new response is submitted. So let's use that trigger and link it to our form. Then we're gonna add a get response detail action to actually get the information that the user sent. We're gonna need a parse JSON action to get the dynamic content for the images. This part could be a little bit tricky, so to make things easier, we can generate the schema for this from a sample response. To do so, save your flow and run a test. For this, we're gonna submit a response and wait for our flow to identify the submission. Then we're gonna go to the get response detail action, move to the output section, and then body. There you will see the information we sent, our name, the address, and lastly, the images. Copy that line and go back to your editor, and then paste it here. And that's it, your schema is ready. Then we're gonna do just like we did with Jumper example and use an array to store our images. Let's add an apply to each action. And a connector just like OneDrive for Business will help us with the image content by using an expression here. Our final step will be just the same. Start document generation process action. You will select the dynamic content from your Microsoft Form response and use the array variable we created to populate the fields. we're gonna save everything, run the flow, and check our results. And that's all. By following these steps, you will be able to use pictures in your Excel templates, pulling them from SharePoint List, Microsoft Forms, and many other integrations. So make sure to give these scenarios and many others a go with your 30-day free trial. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure to give it a go and subscribe. See you next time.